My name is Missy Edgmon. I'm here to do the children's lesson this morning. Good morning. So I'm going to be talking this morning about something we can't see called the Holy Spirit, and I'm going to be using something we can see, plants, to try to get the lesson across. I'm getting a lot of my ideas from John chapter 14 and going forward. So if you want a place to read in the Bible about what the Holy Spirit does in us, that's a good place to start. And I want you to remember two main things in this lesson. The first one is that the Holy Spirit is a gift. It's not something we earn. It's a gift that's given by Jesus. And the second thing I want you to remember is that the Holy Spirit grows as we obey. So we do have a role to play, but we can't get the Holy Spirit on our own. All right, so we're pretending that these two little empty pots are two little boys that live next door to each other. They have so much in common. They are on the same sports teams. They go to the same school. They go to the same church. They have similar families. But one of the two boys believes what Jesus says. He believes that Jesus is the Son of God. He believes that Jesus died for his sins. He believes that he has sins that need to be forgiven. And he decides, because he believes that he's also going to be baptized. He's going to walk in obedience. And Jesus gives him the gift of the Holy Spirit. And it's a lot like a seed that we stick in the ground. And you don't really see much difference right away. But we know what happens with a seed when it's stuck in the ground. It starts to grow roots first. And then after a while, something's going to shoot up out of the soil. So let's see what happens after a few years. Now these guys are in their 40s. And they're busy. This is such a busy time of life. They have jobs, they have families. This guy that has the Holy Spirit living in him, the job of the Holy Spirit is to remind you about Jesus. He keeps pointing you back to Jesus. He points to you about the way Jesus lived, the things that Jesus taught. And so you can copy those things and you can try to practice those things. But then there are going to be times that you fall short, you sin, you fail. We all do. And then what the Holy Spirit does is it reminds you of what Jesus has done for you. He died for you. He already died for these sins for you. You are really forgiven. And he did this because he loves you. God is not angry at you. He's not disgusted with you for sinning again. Just let's remember what Jesus did, get back up, get back in there, and start obeying again, and the Spirit will continue to grow. Now his friend knows a lot of good things too. He's a good guy. You'd want to be his neighbor probably too. But he doesn't have the Spirit in him. He doesn't have the Spirit giving him that deeper understanding of what's true. And when he does mess up, when he sins, he doesn't have the Spirit reassuring him that his sins are forgiven. So he kind of has to tell himself, maybe I'll pretend it didn't happen, or maybe I'll pretend it doesn't matter. And neither one of those things is true. And it's really hard and tiring to live in a way that's not true. So let's move forward in time. Now our guys are in their 70s, and look what the Spirit of God has done in our friend. He makes something so beautiful out of our lives. As we practice walking in the Spirit, we become more like God ourselves. We become more faithful and forgiving and kind and generous and all of these things that you want to be. You want to be around somebody that's like this. And you're going to be generous with your encouragement too, because you've received so much encouragement from the Spirit through the years. That's the kind of person you're going to become as you walk in obedience to the Holy Spirit, which is a gift from Jesus. This guy, he's getting pretty worn out looking. But here's what I want you to remember about him. Even though maybe they're in their 80s now, whatever I said, 70s, 80s. It's never too late. Jesus is always offering the gift of the Spirit, no matter when. He can accept that gift right now, and it will be just as much complete in him as it is in this guy.